Hello and welcome to Modern Sages. This video is a clip taken from our podcast. If you want to learn more or listen to the podcast even further, click the show notes below and that will link you to the direct podcast that you are listening to. Okay, so there's two things before you pull a beautiful card that you're talking about. The first thing that's popping up to me is it's such a good example of just like what you're doing and who you are. And, when those people are following you online and being a part of your communities and all of that, of course, there's beautiful healing and empowerment there. But I feel like even for myself, like I'm 28 and we're talking about having a baby, right? And I have had this career of being a medium and podcasting and like just really like honing into this energy. And part of me is like, oh, if I have a kid, like everything changes. And am I ready for that? You know what I'm saying? So like I just see like you guys navigating and still being empowered in this space. I feel like is so beautiful because you see so many women who get stuck or who lose themselves when they have children. And so I love that you have this space about you that you can do both and they're both connected. They're not separate, which I think is beautiful. And it's like, oh, it's a reminder like, yeah, it can be. Of course, there are going to be things that you get rid of and things that come and go. And that's just part of it. So it's just a good example for me. But what would be some advice for those, let's say, those women who feel like they have lost themselves, whether that be, a mom or someone who's in the 9 to 5 job who just feels like they lost who they are in their rut of life. What would be like from each of you a word of advice for them?
So for me, what I will say is that you will go through a period of losing yourself, right? Because your energy initially goes towards that baby, especially being a new mom. But as long as you know how to find your way back, a lot of times we lose ourselves because we have to heal and then come back as a new person, as a new. So it's nothing wrong with losing yourself, right? And I think that in life, when you go through um amazing life-changing things like having a baby, getting married, getting a house, death, like, it brings new life. So the advice I want to have is don't be afraid about losing yourself because it definitely will happen. But I think, it's about finding a routine or what we like to call rituals to get back to yourself. So for me, when I lost myself, and I really lost myself this second time around. I don't think I lost myself as much with the first baby. I was like this young 28-year-old. I was like, I'm having a baby. I'm like, it was a different time in life for me. But with Lennox, I lost myself, and I think I went through. Now thinking back on it, I definitely was going through postpartum and not realizing what it was. A lot of crying and like watching Victoria now as she shares her story. I realized like I was going through it too. But for me, Spirit Mamas was birthed out of that postpartum that I didn't realize I was having. And so for me, when I'm losing myself, it's really about honoring myself, because realizing that you cannot give to your babies or anything else that you birth without giving from pouring from a full cup. So for me, I meditate. My thing is meditating. I try to meditate at least once a day. If I don't, that's okay. But like, that's that one like solid thing that I keep in my life. Also, I try to do affirmations where I'm really like pouring into myself. As women, a lot of times we do not give ourselves credit for the things that we do. Society has not set us up to really give ourselves kudos. And so for me, it's writing out those affirmations of all the things that I am in the beginning of the day. And then taking a breath. A lot of times when I get frazzled with the kids, and they're running around like crazy guys, because I have two boys, they run around like crazy guys, and I have a dog. It's all male energy here except for me. Um, Victoria taught me this, but it's really just taking a breath and becoming present and just like really listening to my heartbeat and the breath go in and out through my body, because without breath, I'm nothing. Like that is what's keeping me alive, right? And so it's taking that moment to really reconnect with source, which is the breath for me. And then I can come back and step back into mommyhood and pour from a full cup. So it's a few things, and I know Victoria has her own routine, but the advice would be you are going to lose yourself, but it's okay. Find that routine to really pour back into yourself.
That's beautiful. Thank you. I love all of that. And I've noticed that, everything stems back to meditation and breath. Everything in the past 3 weeks has been like, hey, meditation and breath. And it's so interesting how it feels like such a simple foundation, but yet it's like it takes effort and practice and it takes intention to re-remind yourself of something that can be so simple and so profound that we are like, I have to do this and this and this and this. It's like, well, what about the basics? What about this space right here, the foundation, which I feel like I get lost in sometimes too. So thank you for that. It's
Exactly.
beautiful.
And it may not seem sexy, right? But you don't have to go meditate on a mountaintop for an hour. Like it could be a 3-minute breath work that is super powerful and can move you through your emotions. And, I think having kids is so expansive. It's been the most expansive thing I've ever done. And I think, a lot of moms think, oh, I'm going to have less time. And you do in certain instances, right? Because you're always chasing after your kids. But I feel like it's made me want to make more out of my day. It's made me want to, be a better me. And I think, like Tiffany said, you are going to lose yourself. And I think it's important to share with people, though, that grief is a part of motherhood, that grief and grieving your old self and your old life and your emotions, and it is a very powerful part of motherhood that you can run away from or you can embrace. And I think embracing it is hard, right? Someone told me the other day, they were like, these mix of emotions that they're happy, they're hurting, and they're healing all at the same time. And I was like, shit, that's postpartum. That's exactly what postpartum is. And once you accept that you're going to be moving through these things, I feel like it's a lot easier. But as Tiffany said, you can't pour from an empty cup. So tuning into what you need every single day. And it can be different, right? It could be that you just need to get outside and walk in nature. It could be that you just need to take a bath because you haven't taken a bath in a couple of days as a new mom. Or it
Yeah.
could be, that you want to like actually spend a whole half of a day in a ceremony or something, but giving yourself that. And, this is something that's come up recently, but I always used to like really thank my husband for taking the baby. Like, oh my God, thank you for giving me time. Oh my God, thank you. No, that's him being a father. Like
Right.
you deserve to go take this time for yourself. Like, don't make it the small thing and don't say like, oh, okay, I'm only gonna go do this. No, take as much time as you need to make yourself feel better because then it's gonna ripple out to your family in the most beautiful way.
Yeah, I love that. That's beautiful. Yeah, all of it is so good. And I know that the Modern Sages Soul Tribe, that I know that everything you're sharing is so aligned and exactly what they also need to hear. So thank you so much. I just feel so honored and I can't believe we live so close to each other. Like, what? I need to be a part of all these things now.
Yes,
Because
we'll have
we
to.
just, yeah, I just moved here like 4 months ago. And so when you move to a new place, you're just trying to like find your tribe, trying to find people, so it can be a little bit lonely at times. So I'm like, oh, I'm so excited. That's awesome. Thank you so much for watching this video. If this podcast has piqued your interest, we would definitely recommend you to finish the podcast by clicking the link below. We would also love to invite you to subscribe and to like to our YouTube channel, along with joining our Modern Sages Soul Tribe. This is a tribe of women helping to embrace the medicine within. In this tribe, we will be doing moon gatherings, having classes, and a lot of free content, spiritual gift giveaways, and so much more. If this calls to you, click the link below and join the Modern Sages Soul Tribe. Blessings.